Monday morning, February 22nd, the season of Lent. This is day number 5. Our scripture this morning comes from Deuteronomy chapter 6. I'm going to start reading at verse 10. It says, "Then it shall come about, when the Lord your God brings you into the land which he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, to give you great and splendid cities which you did not build, and houses full of all good things which you did not fill, and hewn cisterns which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant, and you eat and are satisfied. Then watch yourself, that you do not forget the Lord, who brought you from the land of Egypt out of the house of slavery. You shall fear only the Lord your God, and you shall worship him and swear by his name. You shall not follow other gods, any of the gods of the peoples who surround you. For the Lord your God in the midst of you is a jealous God. Otherwise, the anger of the Lord your God will be kindled against you, and he will wipe you off the face of the earth." Verse 16 is the key verse. "You shall not put the Lord your God to the test, as you tested him at Massah." Now remember, yesterday we saw Massah and Meribah. That it was a retake. They had a retest. They had failed miserably when they came out of the Red Sea, and they journeyed 3 days in the wilderness, and there was no water for them to drink. They came to a place called Marah. The water was bitter. They couldn't drink the water. And God was testing them and showing them that he was going to provide for all of their needs. Well, the water test was going to be a retake, because now they are traveling again and they come to a place that has no water, and they begin to grumble and they begin to complain, and they question, is God with us? And oftentimes when we go through trials and tribulations or testings, we ask that question, is God with us? But Deuteronomy 6 seems to paint a different picture. Moses is saying, one of these days you're going to be blessed. You are going to get into a land that is just abundant and fruitful, and you're going to have houses that you didn't build, and vineyards that you didn't plant, and cisterns that you didn't dig. All of these things are going to come about and come upon you. It's going to be so great. Then he says, don't forget God who brought you out. Because oftentimes we forget the God who was there during the difficult times. When things are going good, we forget about the God who brought us out of those difficult times. And so when everything is going good, we begin to wonder, is God with us? Is God still here? And people of Israel are warned not to start going after these other gods. Thinking that God's only the God who sees us through the dark, tough times. And so now that we're doing great, maybe we can go after these other gods. And Moses is like, no, the God who is in your midst is a jealous God. God is in your midst. But that is a big temptation, to forget that God is actually with us. In fact, it's one of the temptations that Satan will use against Jesus. Let's take a look at that. It's Matthew chapter 4. Matthew chapter 4, Jesus is being tempted. And Satan says to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you, and on their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone." But in Matthew 4, verse 7, Jesus said to him, "On the other hand, it is written, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test." You see, Jesus had remembered the very important thing, not to test the Lord. But where did that come from? That came from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 16, as Moses is warning them, don't test God. God is with us. And the temptation of the enemy is to try and convince you that God's not there, that God isn't around, that God is not in your midst. And sometimes the enemy will come and he'll tempt you during the very difficult times and make you wonder, is God really with me here? But then there's times when everything is wonderful and great and you forget about the God who brought you out of those dark, tough times, and the enemy wants you to think God's not even around. You can do whatever you want to do, and you can even go after these other gods. But Moses and now Jesus will warn us, no, the God who is in your midst, he is a jealous God. So that's our message for you this morning. It is Monday morning. We're beginning a brand new week in the season of Lent. So I want to encourage you and I want to remind you that God is with us. Don't forget and don't test God's presence. Pray y'all have a blessed and amazing day.